Hello, how's it going? Today we are going to practice on translating equations. So what this means we're going to do is we are going to take a word problem. We are going to take a word problem and turn it into an equation for us to solve. So go ahead and cut out your first problem, which is the one about the stack of books. And we're going to go through and solve two together, and then you're going to try the third one on your own. So when we're translating equations, it's really helpful if we use cubes. Cubes is going to help us pick out important information to help us solve the problem. So, see, we want to circle important numbers. A stack of books is sitting on a stool. Each book is 3 inches thick. The stool is 24 inches tall, and there are B books on the stool. If the combined height is 39 inches tall, how many books are on the stool? Again, C is circling the important numbers. So here we have 3, 24, 39, but there's one more important number. What do you think it is? It is B. B books. That is a variable, yes, but it is still a number. So we need all those 3 numbers. Then we need to underline the question. How many books are on the stool? Then we need to box our keywords. Remember, keywords tell us direction, they tell us operations, and they tell us units. So units that we see are inches. It's important that they're all the same, because if they were different, we might have to translate or convert to a different unit if we had like inches and feet. But they're all inches, so we're good. We also have the word combined is important. What does combined tell us? Combined tells us that we need to add. Combined tells us that we need to add. We have one more keyword, and that is each. What does each tell us? Each tells us that we need to multiply. If you forget these keywords, please look up at the posters that we have in our rooms to help you figure it out. Alrighty, so now that we've got, E, there's no extra information that they're trying to confuse us, then S we would solve. So there's one more step I want us to do before we put everything together in a problem. What I want you to do is we're going to have to pick out our one-time number, our number that's good with a variable, our total number, and then we have to figure out, are we adding or are we subtracting? In this problem, I think it's usually easiest to start out with your total number. So read through. Which number do you think is going to be the total number? The total number is going to be 34 or 39, because the combined height, that means the total height is going to be 39 inches. From there, let's pick out our one-time number. What number do we only have one time? We only have one stool, so that 24, that's going to be our number that only happens one time. So that leaves what number to be with our variable? 3. And like we said, that word each means that we're going to be multiplying that number with that variable. So we have 24, 3b, and 39. And then we're going to add or subtract. We're going to add or subtract this problem. That's right, we're adding because it says combined height. So now we want to take all this information and we're going to put it together in an equation. I'm going to have some number plus some other number equal that total. So our one-time number, 24, plus our number with our variable, 3b, is equal to 39. And that's our equation for the situation. You can go ahead and solve it. Please pause the video. Go ahead and do that for me. When you solve, you get that b is equal to 5. The question says how many books are on the stool. If you answered b equals 5, people are going to look at you like you're crazy. How you would answer that question, how many books are on the stool? You would say there are 5 books on the stool. And there we go. Go ahead, draw a line in and glue in your question about the pool. Glue in your question about the pool. The next one says, a 60-inch tall pool is filled to the top. Water is draining at a rate of 2 inches per minute. After how many minutes will the pool be empty? Again, we need to go through and use cubes. What are our important numbers here? 60 and 2. There's one, no, we'll come back to that later. You underline the question. After how many minutes will the pool be empty? B, box keywords. Remember, we have units. They were both inches, so we are good. And then there's another word, rate. What operation is rate? Multiplication. So that means that 2 is going to be with our variable. And then there's one more word that's also kind of a number. That word, that number, is empty. Empty would be what number? Empty would be 0. So we're trying to get the pool from 60 inches tall to 0 inches tall. We want all the water out. There's no extra information that they're trying to confuse us with to cross it out. So let's turn it into an equation and solve. So again, we want to pick out our one-time number, our number with a variable, our total, and figure out, are we adding or subtracting? So like I told y'all before, I think the total is the easiest number to start with. What would our total be? What are we trying to get to? We want our pool to be empty, so our total here is going to be 0. What's our one-time number? The thing that's just happening once, it's not happening over and over and over again. That's going to be the 60. So then our number with the variable is going to be what? 2, because we saw that word rate that tells us to multiply. Per also tells us to multiply. So there's 2 different words that they're telling us that we have to multiply that number with a variable. In this problem, though, they don't give us a variable, so you can pick whatever letter you like. I'm going to pick P for pool. I'm going to pick P for pool. So now we've pulled out all of our important information. We want to put it together in an equation. Oh, whoops, I'm sorry. Are we adding or are we subtracting? We are subtracting. That empty, we're trying to take water out of the pool, so that means we're subtracting. So that means we're going to have some number minus another number to equal our total. So what's our first number going to be? What are we starting with? We're starting with that 60. We're starting with that 60 inches high. The pool's filled all the way to the top. And we're subtracting what? That 2p. I should have boxed that word draining, because draining, that implies subtraction because we're taking water away from it. So that means we're subtracting the 2 with our variable until we have what left? Until there is no water left in the pool. Go ahead, pause the video, solve that equation for me. When you solve it out, you should get that p is equal to 30. Don't forget, you've got a negative divided by a negative, so that should give you a positive answer. And that makes sense because the question says, after how many minutes will the pool be empty? We can't have negative minutes. So if that's our answer, how would we write that to answer this question? After how many minutes will the pool be empty? The pool will be empty after 30 minutes. Alrighty, there's one more about Shamika and her father's plant for you to do on your own. Go ahead, pause the video, and play it once you have all of the important information picked out. Once you have all of the one-time number, the number with the variable, and the total picked out, then play your video. Alrighty, so you should get that your one-time number is 15 inches. That's how tall the plant is starting at. The number with the variable is 9. I chose Y to represent the number of years that it's growing, because it's growing 9 inches per year. The total is 87 inches, and you should be adding. So go ahead, make sure those things are right. If not, if you have questions, go ahead and ask us. If not, go ahead and write and solve your equation. Make sure that you answer it with a sentence. Once you have written it out and solved it, you should get that after 8 years, it will be 87 inches tall. If you have questions about this, go ahead and ask us. Otherwise, go on to the next set of notes.